Hi there everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Clarissa and on this channel I do things all spirituality related. Right now we're just doing pick a card readings because they're fun and I really have been enjoying doing them. And I'm sure that you can tell by the title of this video that we're really trying to figure out what type of partner you attract, who are you currently manifesting, who is being drawn to you, all of that good stuff. So really we wanted to get some more information about the potential partners that you could be, bringing into your life, as well as just like the overall personality type, I guess, or, ideas of the personality of somebody that you attract. So we have 3 different piles for today for you guys to choose from. If you're new to pick a card piles, once I've gone through each of the piles, you can take a minute, pause the video, and then if you need to meditate, whatever helps you decide what your intuition is the most drawn to, or whatever helps you realize what you're being the most drawn to, that will be the best thing for you to do. I truthfully don't believe that there is a wrong way to pick a pile. But if you are listening to a reading and you're like, this doesn't sound like anybody I've ever attracted at all, that could be because, maybe things have changed for you and you're manifesting somebody differently into your life now. This could also be like the person that you see as your ideal partner. So, give it a listen. If it's really not resonating with you at all, feel free to pick another pile. There's really no wrong way to do this. I am using my ring light today. I usually like to film with natural light, but it is a dark, gloomy day in Colorado today, which we don't get very often. So anyway, had to whip out the ring light, and that's why the setup looks a little bit different today. But for the piles for today, we have pile number 1, 2, and 3. So pile number 1 is associated here with the smoky quartz. It's actually very pretty. I don't know how well you can see that, but it's a very pretty crystal. And then I also have for pile number 2, the peach agate. And I'm gonna try and show you like all of the lovely angles to it, but I'm sorry if my ring light's kind of like dimming it out. This is why I usually prefer to film with natural light, but it's all right, we're gonna make do today. Very pretty. And then we have green aventurine for pile number 3. So take a minute, pause the video if you need to decide which pile you are the most drawn to. And then once you have done that, there will be timestamps in the description box down below that you can look at and then click on once you've decided. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. Once you've decided which one you're the most drawn to, you can go to that description box and then click on the timestamp that's associated with your pile, and then you'll be taken right to your reading for today, guys. So thank you again so much for joining me, and I'll see you guys shortly in your reading. Hi there, pile number 1. If you picked the smoky quartz, then this is your reading for today. So let's go ahead and get right into it. I have here the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck, and I wanted to get 2 cards to really try and get like a better picture of who it is that you attract as a partner, who you're currently manifesting, your ideal partner, all that good stuff. So for you, we got the Sustainer and we got the Maiden. Very interesting. So I just want to preface this by saying that this can be applicable to anybody, like any gender, any sexuality, anything, at all. I'm going to do my best to have neutral pronouns. So I apologize if I just revert to saying he, she, and that's not, if that's not necessarily applicable to you in your situation. What I'm really meaning if I do say those things is that this is a broad overview of the person. It doesn't have to be a man, doesn't have to be a woman. It can be whoever, comes to mind, or it can be any gender. It doesn't have to be a specific gender. So please do excuse me if I use he or she too frequently, because that's not what I'm trying to do. I think it's interesting here, though, that both the maiden and the sustainer came up. So the maiden to me is somebody that is still has a lot of maturing to do, if that makes sense. Like somebody that is maybe a little too curious, that maybe is a little bit too adventurous and kind of throws caution to the wind. But like with the maiden coming up here with the sustainer, what I'm really seeing is that we have somebody here that's very flexible. Somebody here that is actually more grounded than the maiden is by themselves, but somebody that still allows their mind to be molded. It's like interesting because to me, in this person's hand, it looks like they have like a ball of clay or something that they're kind of like forming, and like it's malleable still, so they're able to like form it into whatever they want it to be, right? And the sustainer is somebody that literally like sustains things, that can build a foundation and do like the mundane tasks that are required in like everyday life. They're the person that can make the lists and do the, grocery shopping, do the cleaning, do the whatever that needs to be done to like maintain a household, maintain a like normal life, if that makes sense. So they're very good at sustaining things the way that they are, and just like being like a rock, essentially, like somebody that's very constant. But I do like the way that this depiction is coming up next to the maiden, because to me it's like you have somebody that is like reliable, dependable, supportive, somebody that is very generous. That is kind of like the overall archetype of the sustainer, while also being like very open-minded, very curious still, very young at heart, very playful, doesn't take themselves too seriously, I guess I should say. And I think that's a really beautiful quality. Let's go ahead and get into the additional cards that I have for you to get some more information on who this person is, and more information on their personality. So I have some tarot cards that we received for you regarding this person. So we got the Lovers. We have the Five of Swords. Okay, very interesting. So I'm just going to move these up briefly here. We have the Three of Cups, the Knight of Wands, and the Six of Pentacles. Okay, very cool. Just going to make sure we're still in shot here enough. Okay, looks good. So the first thing that I'm really seeing here is that this person is very much so, like, I'm getting, like, I don't necessarily want to say twin flame vibes, but I feel like this person kind of, like, holds a mirror up to you, and sees the things, or, like, shows you the things that you lack in yourself, or maybe even shows you things that you didn't even necessarily see were there in yourself. I see this person as kind of being, like, your mirror, being, like, your again, I don't really want to use the words twin flame because I don't know for sure if that's the case with this individual, but I see them being kind of like a mirror image of you, but also like holding a mirror up to you and showing you the things that you lack as well as the things that you have and you possess. And I feel like you guys balance each other out very well, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like this person is like very different from you in the best ways. Like, they complement you very well because you guys are so different and you see things so differently. And that's really what I'm seeing here, is like this harmonious balance here in the Lovers. And I see also that this person, kind of presents you with this choice of being with somebody that may be different than who you've been with before. So this reading for you may not even necessarily be like the overall like overarching personality or archetype of a person that you attract. This reading for you could very much so be the type of person that you are manifesting based on who you've become, as well as the type of person that you have the potential of ending up with. Somebody that really balances you out in the best ways, because the way that these cards are coming up and the feelings that they're evoking in me, this feels like a very strong, important connection, and not just somebody that, this is your general archetype that you attract. It's deeper than that. And I don't know how well I'm explaining that, so my apologies, but essentially, like, I feel like this is somebody that you could be manifesting. Maybe you went through like a period of healing and self-discovery and kind of figured out things that didn't work with people in previous relationships, and now you kind of got an idea of who it is that you want in your life, the kind of partner that you're wanting in your life. And so very much so could be related to like who you're manifesting. This is like a little off topic, a little off tangent, but it's something that I say all of the time to people, that I manifested my husband because I, from a young age, talked about the qualities and characteristics that I wanted in a partner. And I'm getting that same vibe here, that for a lot of you, this is like the partner that you want. Like this person meets a lot of the criteria and characteristics on a list that you may have of like the things that you are looking for in a partner, like your deal breakers, your non-negotiables. Like these are very important characters and characteristics and qualities for your partner to have. So that's really what I'm seeing here. I see almost like this very similar yet very different person. You're able to connect in a lot of different ways, but again, they kind of show you the things that maybe you lack in yourself as well as your strengths. And I think that's very beautiful. And you guys do complement each other very well. In the Five of Swords, I'm seeing somebody that is somebody that likes to keep the peace, like a peacemaker, somebody that knows when there's no winning in a fight or an argument, and knows when to step back, and knows when to, you know, take the L if they need to, if that makes sense. Like they're willing to let things go and lose an argument if that means they get to keep that person in their life because they don't escalate it to the point where they potentially could. So I see somebody that likes balance, could be somebody that's like Libra, Taurus, because Taurus does like good sustainable balance as well. It's a very Venusian quality, and Taurus and Libra are both ruled by Venus, but very much so could have like Libra qualities and characteristics. Somebody that, you know, is fair and just and does like to keep the peace, doesn't like it when things are, you know, disharmonious in any way. But yeah, somebody that knows when to walk away from an argument, knows when things have escalated to the point of no return, and is like, you know what, we just need to stop this now, we need to be done, and we can come back later once everybody's kind of cooled off and had a minute to think things over. With the Three of Cups coming up here, I feel like this person is somebody that is very, very supportive, somebody that really like enjoys celebrating the accomplishments of their friends and family, somebody that like truly supports other people, not somebody that like pretends to and, you know, has like a jealous mean streak in them, but somebody that really like, they're the person that if you tell good news to, they're like, oh my God, that's so great, I'm so happy for you, and they're genuinely happy for you. And I feel like overall this person is somebody that feels that way about anybody, not just like close friends and family, but is like constantly like lifting up other people and supporting other people and being that support that other people need. And I think that's a really beautiful quality. With the Knight of Wands showing up, I feel like this person is very much so driven by their passions. You know, it's funny, I get some like strong from the Sustainer, I get some like strong Aquarius energy as well. And you know, with the Swords coming up, we could also have like Gemini in here with the Lovers coming up, but with the Swords coming up, it could be like Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. This person could be and exhibit a lot of those traits, and I get this feeling that this person is very passionate about helping other people, especially with the Six of Pentacles coming up. which is very much so about balance. And you know, what you put out in the world is what you get back. And I feel like that is a motto that this individual lives by. This person really truly believes that what they do for other people will come back to them in some way, shape, or form. But also they do things for other people because they want to, because they have the ability to help, and because they just care about people in general. They have a very big heart. They're a very compassionate, understanding person, and they really have this desire to help humanity. And so I feel like they're very driven by their passions, and they're very passionate. Like I'm just hearing like the world. So I feel like they're very passionate about like you know, conservation, climate change, what can we do to like conserve our oceans and our rainforests, and you know, help make sure that the animals have somewhere to go to and live. And you know, they're just very much so literally like a sustainer. They're somebody that sees the beauty in the things, like the everyday mundane things, and they want to do what they can to like support those things and to allow them to continue to flourish. And I'm just saying, like, I really like this person that you guys attract to. I think this person's really cool. Overall, like, again, I think there's somebody that is very open-minded, you know, very much so like enjoys helping other people and has a passion for helping other people, and always does what they can to give to others. Even if it's small, it could be something that's very significant to them, because again, you know, if you're a millionaire and you give somebody $10, I mean, what is that really? Is that really generosity? Versus when you're somebody that, you know, only makes, you may not even make $10 a day, and you give $10 to somebody, like that is very beautiful, because you're really like embracing that generosity of spirit. And that's what I feel from this reading in that person. Let's go ahead and look at some additional cards. I wanted to see if we could get like some answers about who this person is, like their personality, by looking at maybe sun, moon, and rising, astrology, you know, whatever kind of came up. But these astrology cards do have more on them than just like the sun signs, or the different astrological signs, I guess I should say. So let's take a look at what came up for you. So we have Saturn, truth, not surprised by that. We have lunar eclipse, change. Okay, very cool. And we have 9th house, faith. Okay, cool. All right, so overall, I really do think that this person has like some Aquarius energy to them. And they may not be an Aquarius sun, moon, or rising, but they could have like an Aquarius stellium, or they could just have like a very strong like Saturn placement in Aquarius or whatever. But you know, Saturn is the planet that traditionally rules Aquarius and Capricorn. And Saturn is very much so like the father of the zodiac, but Saturn understands the importance of hard work. Saturn people understand the importance of hard work, and Saturn people also go through a lot of different struggles in their life, because Saturn, like heavy people with Saturn heavy energy and like Saturn heavy charts. And like what I mean by that is if like your rising sign even is Aquarius or Capricorn, you have a Saturn based chart that is the ruler of your chart. And so for these people, life can tend to put a lot of obstacles in their way and make things difficult, to then reward them when they are able to like properly kind of dismantle and like fight back against those boundaries and those restrictions and limitations, and you know, doing it in a proper way. So you know, not burning everything down behind them, but like figuring out how to get around those things. And that like hard work is really important for these people. Like these are people that don't necessarily, like they can manifest. I'm not saying they can't manifest, but like their manifestations come to them a lot slower than other people's may. So they can get very frustrated, because it would be very frustrating to, you know, be trying to manifest things over and over again and them not coming to you right away. And that's because Saturn does this on purpose with these people and, you know, makes them work really hard and fight for what they want and then rewards them heavily for the things that they do later on. Very much so like a father. And I am literally getting that energy. Especially too with the lunar eclipse change coming in here. Aquarius is very much so a sign that fights for change. It's funny because I feel like us fixed signs get such a bad reputation for not liking change, but I will say that I think Scorpio and Aquarius handle it the best because Aquarius is constantly fighting for change and evolution. They are literally the revolutionary. Like, they will fight for change and evolution of outdated social structures and outdated ways of thinking and whatever it may be. Aquarius really is able to see the need for change to better help humanity, if that makes sense. And I feel like this person has gone through a lot of change and trial and tribulation in their lives, but they also want to do their part to help change the world. They want to do their part to make the world a better place and to give to other people. And they may be somebody too that really enjoys travel. I feel like that's why the 9th house is coming out here for them in particular, is because they may really enjoy traveling, and they may be a well-traveled person already that has these perspectives because they have seen how other people in the world live. And I feel like that's how we gain more, you know, compassion and empathy anyway, and how we're able to better relate to people is when you go and you travel the world and you see how we're different, but you also see how similar we all are. And you are able to see like this common thread within humanity. And I'm really getting that vibe with the 9th house coming up here. I feel like this individual that for you, again, I feel like is who you're like trying to manifest, the kind of person with like the kind of like, the qualities or characteristics in the individual that you're wanting for your partner. I feel like that's why this is coming up, because again, I feel like they are probably a very well-traveled individual, and they're somebody that is able to empathize better with people because they are well-traveled, because they've seen different cultures and different ways of living, and they truly have a passion for people and for, you know, there being more understanding in the world that, again, like what I said, we are all different, but we all are similar in the same sense, right? Because while we all have different cultures and customs and beliefs, we're all still people at the end of the day, and we all still feel pain, and we all still feel sorrow, and we all still feel happiness and joy and love and excitement. And those things are what make us human. Those are the things that bond us together. And I think that that's really beautiful. Let's go ahead and look at, I wanted a couple more cards that would kind of look more at the potential relationship between you guys. And we got Fork in the Road for you, and we got Treasure Island. So I feel like with these cards coming up, to be completely honest with you, and you may be somebody like me that needs to be knocked in the head a couple times when good things come their way. And what I mean by that is I feel like when this person comes into your life, when this individual comes into your life, it will be at a time when you least expect it, because that's when the best things come into our lives, is when we least expect them, and when we've stopped trying so hard to get them. Because I really truly believe that when we sit there and we try to manifest something so much, and we hold on to this idea so much, and we hold on to the way that it's supposed to come into our lives, like when we plan it all out and we're just like really stuck on one thing, one way, it makes it hard for the universe to give us exactly what we're asking for, because we do have to trust that the universe will give us the things that we are asking for within divine timing, but also, you know, the way that's best for us, right? And I think we get so wrapped up in the details sometimes. And I feel like for you, that may be the case, that you've been trying to bring this person into your life for such a long time, that you will kind of be at a crossroads when they finally do come into your life. And you may even try to self-sabotage by, you know, not sitting long enough and thinking, okay, what kind of qualities and characteristics does this person have? Does this align with the person that I've been trying to manifest into my life as a partner? And you may get scared, and you may be scared that you finally have gotten this person, and it may be hard for you to commit or to like truly realize that this is the person that you've been asking for. So I really feel like this is coming up because Spirit kind of wants you to recognize that that could be the case for you. And so if that does arise for some of you, to really take a minute to sit there and think about it before you like jump to conclusions or you write this person off. Because like, for instance, I don't mean to make this all about me, but just to like kind of give you an example of what I mean. When I met my husband, we were in college, and I was not looking for a relationship. I had gotten to this point where I was just kind of happy being with myself and being single, and I was like, I don't need somebody else. Like, I'm fine just the way that I am by myself, and if the right person comes along, great. If they don't, who cares? And he just happened to come along, and I wrote him off for a really long time and was like, he's just my friend, this isn't going to be anything else, because I was kind of stubborn and stuck in my own ways and didn't want it to be anything else. But it just kind of ended up unfolding that way. And I finally kind of let go of this idea of, well, this isn't the right time, or I didn't really want this person here right now, or I don't know if I'm ready to be in a relationship or whatever. Take things at your own pace, and don't write somebody off just because you think it may not be the right timing, because it may very well be. I mean, me and my husband are married now. We've been together for almost 10 years. So, it's very possible that that could be the case for some of you as well. Not all of you, but for some of you. And also, for some of you too, this person, again, may be somebody that really shows you the things that you lack. And it can be hard for us sometimes to instinctually choose those people to be with, because it can be hard for us to even look ourselves in the mirror and admit, you know what, like, I do lack that, or that's something that I do struggle with, that's something I do need to work on. And so the fork in the road for some of you may be coming to this realization that you still have a lot of growing and healing to do. And sometimes it's not always best to get into a relationship when we do that, but sometimes it is. Sometimes the other person allows us a space, a confidant that we may have not had before, that allows us to kind of heal and work through some of our past trauma. So keep that in mind as well. I feel like with Treasure Island coming up here, that it's coming up because you guys will really, like, if you're able to make things work when this person comes into your life, that you will be each other's like gem. Like, you will be the diamond in the rough for each other. You will be the people that each other have been looking for. And you're not going to be perfect. Clearly nobody's perfect, and this individual isn't going to be perfect. You're not going to be perfect, but you'll kind of like learn something new about each other every day, and you'll grow closer to each other every day. And you will over time see how much of a blessing this person is in your life, and what they present to you and what they offer to you, and vice versa. And I feel like there will be a mutual like love, appreciation, and understanding for each other. And that's why this card is coming out, because I think it will be like a very beautiful connection for both of you. I have one more card, and my purpose with this card was just to kind of ask Spirit like what the outcome of this relationship could be, how things could play out in this relationship. But yeah, essentially like what the outcome would be if you guys were together, and how things would work out with this person. and you got success. And I can't say that I'm surprised, because I feel like, again, overall, this person really compliments you well and really brings out the best in you, and vice versa. And I feel like you guys kind of complete each other in a way. And you don't, I'm not saying that to be like you need somebody to complete you, but they offer things to you that other people may not have. Like, they help brighten your light instead of dim it, if that makes sense. And I think that overall, like, this would be a very successful relationship. And look at that, like, there's Libra there. I'm telling you, like, this person has air sign energy, and I feel like there's some Aquarius Libra in there somewhere, but I feel like overall this would be like a very successful, grounded relationship where you're able to grow in your relationship with each other, and you learn new things from each other. You become better human beings, better communicators, better partners through it all. I really loved this reading for you guys, pile number 1. I really hope that you do bring this person into your life and that you manifest this person, because for you, again, I really get the feeling that this is somebody that you are wanting to attract into your life, or that you're currently manifesting into your life. And I think that this is very beautiful. So yeah, I really loved this reading. I hope that you guys did as well. If this resonated with you, please give this video a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I put out new videos every week. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks. Bye. Hi there, pile number 2. If you picked the peach agate, then this is your reading for today. So let's go ahead and get right into it. I have 2 cards for you here from the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck. And I wanted to get these cards to get a better idea of who the person is that you may be manifesting, who the people are that you draw to you, that are attracted to you romantically, like the kind of partners that you attract to you, or even just like who currently in your life may be attracted to you. And maybe you'll be able to find out based off of this reading. So hopefully this is helpful for you guys. In the last reading for pile number 1, it was more so focused, I felt like, on who they were currently manifesting into their lives. So this may be the same for you. This could be different, but we'll see if I can kind of get a vibe as to exactly what I think, you know, this person's purpose is. If it's more so like this is just kind of the people that you bring into your life and that are attracted to you, or if it's more so like who I think you currently may be manifesting or attracting. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a look here. So we have for you Anima Mundi, and we have the Eternal Child. Okay, very interesting. Now I'm not gonna lie to you, I am not super familiar with this card, so I want to go ahead and take a look at the book here and see what information it can give us about Anima Mundi. So let me pull that up here real quick. Oh, I think it might be the very last card. It is. Okay, so Anima Mundi, the soul of the world, all that is. Anima Mundi epitomizes the principle accept all, reject none. Simply put, it is the living soul of the world in all its multifaceted, multidimensional layers, bonded together by loving cosmic forces. Diversity is celebrated, multiplicity is honored, and nothing is denied. Embrace. Constructs of separation dissipate into the wonderful mess of shared consciousness. Anima Mundi is the link between the literal and the imaginal, the rational and the mythic. It is the connective fiber that makes life meaningful. This card indicates an initiation on the level of the soul. You will awaken the unique light within and witness how this light contributes to the radiance of the entire universe. You will sense yourself as a critical note in the cosmic orchestra. Destiny is altered as you hear the enchanted melody of all living things. So when light, we're attending to the sacred details of life. Anima Mundi is the energy behind the world card in the tarot deck. Both carry themes of universal unity, completeness, and embrace. The embrace of Anima Mundi is available anytime, anywhere, to anyone, day or night, rich or poor. It is a process of unveiling our resistance to its love. Interesting. Okay. So I think that the energy that I'm getting after kind of reading that a little bit more is this individual that you are, that attract, like that you attract to you, that you may be manifesting, um, whatever it may be in your instance, this individual is somebody that is able to see life from the bigger perspective. Somebody that understands like that they play a role in their current lifetime and the reasoning why they're here, but that they're also very small at the same time. It's this understanding that it's so funny because I literally listened to somebody talk about the world card today and I really liked her perspective on it. And it really made a lot of sense to me and it really clicked. And so maybe this will kind of help you guys as well. So she talked about how with the world card, you know, it's actually like very interesting. If you think about how like hundreds of thousands of years ago, we didn't have like all of these skyscrapers and we didn't have all of these people on this planet. And it's something that I had never really thought about before, but this idea that, you know, with all of this extra matter on the planet, you would think that it would completely weigh down Earth and Earth would just like fall into the oblivion, essentially. But the way that she essentially explained it is that there's a theory that, and I mean, it's a proven theory, I guess. So I guess it would be more of a law. I don't know. Sorry, I haven't taken science classes in a while. But anyways, it would be this idea that, you know, it's the idea that matter is neither created or nor destroyed. Excuse me for being kind of ditzy. It's late where I am, so forgive me for that. But it's the concept of matter not being created or destroyed. So essentially all of the matter that is here, everything that is once was, and everything that will be. So essentially, like, even though we have all of these different buildings and all of these different people and, you know, so much more on this planet than we did previously, the idea is that, you know, the matter to create those things was always here and available. We just hadn't utilized them for what they were yet. So it's this idea that like we're all a part of this cycle, right? And we all are who we are because we come from the matter of this planet, from the matter of the universe. And you know, it's like this idea that your ancestors are with you, the people from the past are with us because we are a part of them, because we are matter that was destroyed when they were destroyed and we were recreated, if that makes sense. I don't know how well I'm explaining that, but it makes sense in my mind, so hopefully that kind of helps. But essentially, like, I feel like this individual is somebody that really understands how interwoven and interconnected we all are, and somebody that's very accepting and that doesn't deny people their love or their acceptance based off of who they are, what they may have been through, what their story is. Somebody that's very open-minded about people, and I think that's a really great quality to have. With the the eternal child coming up, this can actually represent like the inner child, but essentially it's just somebody that's very youthful, very curious, very full of life and vitality. Like, this is somebody that it's like the idea of a soul being stuck in a body that's aging and decrepit, and this soul just like wants to burst out because it's got so much energy and life to it. And this archetype, though, can also be somebody that is influenced by substance abuse, somebody that may have issues with substance abuse, because I see the eternal child as somebody that like is able to see all of the flaws in the world, but wants things to be beautiful and wants things to be so much better than they are. And they have to kind of numb the pain of the world around them, if that makes sense. Because, you know, it's just like some of us numb with apathy, and these people need to numb with substances because they feel things so deeply, and they don't understand why the world can't be a happier, more accepting, more loving place, if that makes sense. So I really get the feeling that like this individual that you attract may be somebody that is like would be considered a starseed, somebody that would be considered like essentially like somebody that's like not of this not of this planet, somebody that has reincarnated here to awaken others and to help raise the vibration of the planet, because there's somebody that understands how things could be, and it really hurts them and causes them pain to see the way that things are. Okay, so I think that that's like really, really interesting, actually. But yeah, I think that those things kind of work together really well. And again, I think that this person may be somebody that has had issues with substance abuse. They may even continue to have issues with substance abuse because they really need to numb themselves from the pain that they see around them and from the way that this world works. Because let's be real, Earth is a very difficult place to live on when you are somebody that is very empathetic and very much so like just doesn't understand why things can't be different. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into your tarot cards as well. Let me go ahead and put this book up over here. Let's go ahead and take a look at your tarot cards that I got for you today as well from Spirit, and we'll see what other information we can get about this individual. So we have the Emperor. We have, Justice. We have the Six of Swords. And we have Everything is Fine. And then the Devil. Okay. So let me make sure everything's kind of in shot for us here real quick. I'm going to move some of these things up for a minute. Sorry if you can't see everything perfectly, but I want to make sure that we can see these new cards here that we've just laid out. So let's talk about it. Now, I want to first emphasize and say that the Devil card coming up doesn't mean that this person is literally the devil, okay? We'll get into it here in a minute. I feel like this individual that you may be manifesting or that is currently attracted to you, the kind of like archetype or personality that you may attract to yourself, is somebody that has seen the darkest sides of humanity. I'm really getting this overwhelming sense that this individual may have had issues with their family, with their community, with society. And I feel like that's why the Devil's coming up, because I feel like this person has had to break a lot of tradition and chains in their life, if that makes sense. They are somebody that has questioned why things are the way that they are around them, and that makes sense with like Anima Mundi coming out, because they're somebody that questions the way that society functions, and they may even be somebody that has struggled with like religion and religious trauma, because I really get the sense that they may have come from a family that was very like a household that was very strict, come from like a very serious religious background, and they have walked away from that. And I feel like that's why the Six of Swords is coming up, because they may even be somebody that doesn't have close ties to their family because of issues that came up due to like religion, due to structuring in the household, due to the beliefs of the parents. And they may be somebody that was like the black sheep of their family and was disowned by their family. And, this is just like a strong message that is kind of coming through. It's something that I kind of keep hearing in my head. And so I just felt the need to say that. That may not be the case for everybody, but regardless, this is somebody that has had to break the chains of society, of like the traditions and the ideologies that have been placed on them from a very young age. This can also reference somebody that has had to break away from substance abuse. And sorry, I should have pointed to the eternal child there, but somebody that has had to, find a way to cope better with the world and fight their demons without using substances to do so. And, finding better ways to cope with the way that the world is without using substances to do so. So this, for some, could indicate somebody that, is on the road to recovery or has recovered, somebody that, has been free from drugs and alcohol for a very long time. But I am getting the overwhelming sense that for the majority, this is somebody that had to break away from their family, from the people around them, because they had ideas that this individual did not agree with. And this individual was able to say, you know, this is something that does not resonate with me. I believe that everybody deserves love and equality, and that diversity is a beautiful thing in the world. And I could see that this would be somebody that would like go away from the church because they don't believe it's a sin to be gay. They don't believe it's a sin to have sex before marriage. They don't believe it's a sin to, you know, do whatever because the Bible says what it says, right? But they don't believe in that, and they may not even believe in religion. They may not even be somebody that believes in God. And I don't see that as a bad thing. So if that's something that really, you know that you couldn't deal with, then this reading may not be something you're ready to hear right now, and that's okay. But yeah, I feel like this person has really overcome a lot in their life and has had to walk away from family, from community, from people in their lives because they decided to change and those other people did not. And with this Everything is Fine coming out, it's actually funny because this is like a duplicate of the Ten of Swords. So it's the Ten of Swords without saying the Ten of Swords, and instead it says everything is fine, and there is a Ten of Swords in this deck as well. But I just go ahead and shuffle all of the cards that are available because you never know what's going to come out, right? And so for me, the Ten of Swords is very much so a transformative card. It is the card where we have met the accumulation of everything, like, mentally, in our lives. And that's why I really do think that this has to do with like family issues, perhaps, because again, it's like, I feel like these are ideologies that were placed on this person from a very young age. And let's not pretend that, sending kids to Catholic school or making them go to church at a young age is not indoctrination, because regardless of what you believe, we are indoctrinating children from a young age to believe a certain way and to believe like we do, by, putting on the complexities of spirituality and religion onto a 5-year-old. And we can agree to disagree on that, but that's just kind of how I feel about it. And that's the energy that is coming up for me. And so this person, had to work through a lot of the mental anguish and even potentially like their ideologies not aligning with the ideologies of their family. And so it literally led to a death and a rebirth essentially for them. And they became a different person. They were able to walk away from these people because they saw them for who they were and they didn't see them fitting into their life. I do see with the Emperor and Justice coming out here, especially like in the upright positions. It's funny because the Emperor actually represents Aries and Justice represents Libra, and they sit opposite each other on the zodiac wheel, the astrological wheel. But anyway, they sit opposite of each other. They're sister signs. And so anyway, for me, this represents somebody that is very confident in who they are. They have gone through all of this already, and they're very confident in the person that they are and their place in the world. And they don't need somebody else to reaffirm for them who they are, okay? I think that's a very beautiful quality to have. Aries is also like a born leader. This person may have even taken action to like protest or, organize rallies or whatever for the things that they see that are unjust in the world, okay? Because again, justice is all about balance as well. But, with Libra, it's funny because I talk about this a lot being a Libra moon. I feel like the justice police all the time because I hate it when things are unfair and I hate it when things are unbalanced and off kilter. Everything eventually needs to balance out. And I feel like this person really feels that to their core. They may also be the justice police, as I call it, because, when things are unfair, that's when things really rile me up. That's when things really like emotionally piss me off. And I get the feeling that this person may be very similar. And that's why they had to walk away from their family, from their community, from whoever, because they didn't feel that the teachings that were being bestowed upon them, the things that their family were wanting them to believe or agree with, were fair or just. And, again, we've gotten somebody that has really been through a lot, that has come out the other side as a confident individual. And so I do feel here that for a good chunk of these people, the devil may also represent this person, you know, coming out of addiction and walking away, choosing a different path. And again, like, because they grew up in a household or a community that they didn't feel aligned with and may have not felt supported in, that can again kind of enhance this need to numb with substances. So it's actually very interesting the way that this is kind of correlating and playing out. But I feel like this person now today is very self-assured, very much so comfortable in their own skin and in their territory and the things that they know, and, you know, has created a life for themselves that they can be proud of. And they stand tall in who they are and where they've come from. And truthfully, they've been through hell. They've been through a lot to get where they are. And I see them as, again, being somebody that's very just, very fair, and able to see the both sides of a story, both sides of an argument, and is able to make decisions with everyone's best interest at heart. And that can be very hard to do. That's not something that we can always do, but I feel like that's something that this person always strives to do. They always strive to be a very emotionally intelligent, very fair, very balanced leader, because they are a leader. And I feel like they may even be somebody that helps other people. Like, they may be a sponsor if they are somebody that struggled with addiction, and they may, you know, be kind of like a beacon or a representative in different, like, oppressed communities. Maybe somebody that really, you know, stands up and fights for the things that they believe in. And yeah, I think that's really cool. I really like that. Let's go ahead and take a look at some additional cards for you. So I wanted to get a little bit more information on who this individual is, the energy that they kind of bring forth. And, you know, I did ask if, you know, we could get a sun, moon, rising, you know, whatever, to kind of give us a better idea of who this person is. So we got for you Pluto, transformation. Can't say I'm surprised. Fire element, desire, makes sense. And moon, soul. Okay, very interesting. All right, I just want to make sure we can still see. Looks like we're good. Okay, so I am not surprised at all that Pluto came out here. You know, Pluto is associated with Scorpio in the zodiac, and Pluto is a planet all about transformation. This person may have a very prominent Pluto placement. It may be their chart ruler. It could also be that Pluto is aspected a lot in their charts, could be in a very critical house for them. But I do see that, you know, this is like literally their life. I mean, they've transformed who they are and stepped away from and walked away from people and things that did not serve them. And I feel like this person continually transforms throughout their lifetime. And I love that, because I think that when we're transforming and we are, you know, having our little deaths, we are continuing to grow throughout our life. Because, you know, if you aren't changing, I can't even think of like the exact terminology. If you're not growing, you're not changing, right? So I think that this is really cool that this came up, and it really does affirm that this person is constantly reinventing themselves, is constantly changing, is constantly evaluating themselves and the things that they can do better. And I think that's really, really cool. With fire element desire coming up, I'm not surprised, especially with the Emperor coming up. I do feel a lot of like, and with like the, it's funny because, you know, now that I look at it too, we have the eternal child here, and Aries is actually like the baby, the child of the zodiac. This person could have Aries placements, strong Aries placements. Doesn't mean that they have to. They could also just be somebody that really exudes Aries energy, Mars energy. But yeah, very fiery, very much so somebody that, the thing about justice that I really like is that justice is like, gives me very much so like Bible, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth shit, you know, like that stuff from the Bible. It's like this idea that justice can kind of go rogue, and justice will take matters into their own hands, right? And that is the feeling that I get from this individual, that they are not afraid to do what it takes for things to be fair for other people, right? And they're not afraid to put themselves on the line for things to be fair and equal and balanced and just. And, you know, I think it's very interesting actually, because with the Emperor, you know, you typically have somebody that is very level-headed, somebody like in their best state. The Emperor is strategic, makes level-headed decisions, is somebody that, you know, doesn't try to extend their power past where they are. They're fine with where they are. They're fine with what they have. But I get the sense that this person doesn't mind doing that if it means that it's going to be that more people are going to benefit from them doing it. And I feel like they do take their time to weigh their options. They don't act out of character. They don't act out of line. They're not somebody that is super, super irrational. But if something gets them fired up, they're going to go for it. And I feel like that's why this fire element desire is coming up. And then with Moon Soul, it's actually very interesting because, again, we had talked about how I think that this individual may have had issues in their family life, and the moon can represent the mother. This person may have issues with their mother, may not have a close relationship with their mother. Perhaps their mother was the one that, you know, started to put their ideologies onto them at a young age. This can also represent, though, the family and the things that are hidden. And also, you know, I feel like this person's soul is very much so here on a mission. Their soul is here for a reason. And for them, for this card coming up too, it can really exemplify this idea that their soul is their driving force in this lifetime. Like, they're somebody that really listens to their intuition, really listens to the callings and the beckonings of what their soul wants. And you know, it's funny too, because we got the Everything is Fine card, and I feel like this person is no stranger to transformation. They have been, again, through so much in their lifetime already that they're like, you know what, this is fine because I've been here before. I know that once I get through this part, I'm gonna be the beautiful butterfly at the end. Sometimes things are hard before they're easy. And I also do feel like that's why the Emperor came up too, because let's be real, Aries is persistent as hell. People can say what they want about Aries, but Aries is persistent. Aries is stubborn. Aries does not let up. They have a very passionate, driven energy, and Aries doesn't stop until they get what they want, okay? And so I think that that's very interesting that that came up actually, but I feel like this is kind of tying into the ever-evolving and changing nature of this individual's life, because again, the moon is always changing phase. The moon changes every day. It changes a phase, but you know, we go through whole cycles of the moon in 28 days, and the moon is constantly changing. And so this person's life is constantly changing, and they may be at a point where they found a little bit more stability now that they're out of, you know, the grasp of their mother or, you know, their family or their community that they were in previously, but they're still constantly changing. They're still constantly going through transformation. And yeah, I feel like there's somebody that really pays attention to their intuition, the things that they feel, and they really do. There's somebody that can listen to the desires of their soul. Let's go ahead and look at, we have a couple more cards for you guys that I got from Spirit. So let's take a look and see what last bit of information we can get here about this individual that you may be attracting. I'm so sorry if you hear all that honking outside. My neighbors are very rude here. So anyways, we have Never Ending Story for you. And we have Chop Wood. Very interesting. So I feel like these cards are coming out. So for me, the Never Ending Story card is very much so about the things that we tell ourselves, right? And especially in relationships, this can cause problems when we haven't fully healed from past traumas, from past things that we've been told. This individual, while I think they've been through a lot and they've overcome a lot, I feel like this is kind of saying that they still have things left that they need to heal, but also that you may as well. And when this comes up, I feel like in a reading about partners and relationships, essentially what it's saying is that, you know, you have the ability to essentially say, all right, I'm going to fix these problems that I have, these stories that I keep telling myself, because you know, again, I don't know for sure what has been said to this person throughout their lifetime. And even though they may have put those people in that community behind them, it can be kind of hard for us to overcome the stories that we've been told about ourselves in the past by people in our lives. And so I think that what this is saying is that there may be some hindrance in their relationship as well, because this person has some stuff that they may still need to work through, because the moon can indicate subconscious, you know, thinking patterns even that we may not even be aware of, that we haven't brought to light yet and that we haven't dealt with. And so I think that essentially this is saying is that this person may have issues with intimacy, they may fear abandonment, and they may still have some unresolved issues that they haven't worked through ever since they were a child, ever since they were, you know, first having issues with their family. And, you know, again, these are things that can continue to come up in our life. So I think that this is coming up because what it's saying is it's important for this person to continue to work on themselves, just as it's important for you and I to continue to work on ourselves. And that, you know, a relationship may not be easy all of the time with this person, because they may have a lot of self-doubt and a lot of feelings of, like, at their core, they may have a lot of feelings of being unworthy, just because of things that have happened to them in the past. So I think that Spirit is kind of just wanting you to understand that, you know, this person may have some things that they still need to work through. And ultimately, it's your decision whether or not you would want to pursue a relationship with this person or be with a person like this. But I think Spirit is just kind of wanting to bring this to your attention. With chop wood coming up, this is actually interesting too, because this is essentially saying that you guys doing like the mundane, boring, day-to-day things together will be very important for your relationship. You know, I think that especially in the early stages of a relationship, we get so wrapped up in the excitement. And I really I'm getting this message about think about The Bachelor or The Bachelorette. I don't know if you've ever watched that stuff. I have before. Would not recommend, but hey, you know, we all love our trash TV sometimes. Nothing wrong with that. Anyways, as I was saying, when you look at shows like that, they really glamorize this idea of love, and you know, they go on these extravagant vacations and they do all these really cool, crazy dates, and you know, it's one guy or one girl dating 20 some odd people, and it's just it makes love so romanticized, right? And I feel like what this is saying is that while that's all good and dandy and, you know, it has its time and place. And again, I think that we all do that at the beginning stages of a relationship. At the end of the day, that's not what's important, okay? At the end of the day, we have to be able to spend time with this person and do the boring things with them, clean the house and do the grocery shopping and, you know, just watch TV and hold hands or whatever, have that level of intimacy and closeness. And that may allow this person to see that, you know, this relationship is the real deal. Because sometimes, again, we all have these ideas from society about how our relationship should look or how things should be because of shows like The Bachelor or because of rom-coms or because of whatever. And love isn't always like that. Sometimes we have to do the boring things together, and we have to I really, really think it's so important that we like the individual that we're with. Because, I mean, if you look at the generations, I'm a millennial. If you look at the generations before my generation, Gen X or the baby boomers, I mean, half of them don't even like their spouses. It's they marry, and I personally don't understand it, but they don't even like the person that they're with. They don't even like them as a person. They don't consider them a friend. And I feel what this is saying is that if this were going to work between you guys, if this is somebody that, you know, you can see yourself being with long term, it's very important that we understand that not every day is going to be glamorous, and that it's best that we're with somebody that we consider to be a friend, and that we consider to be a confidant, that we consider to be somebody that we enjoy doing boring things with, because that's what happens a lot of the time, you know, we have to be able to do these boring everyday tasks with each other. And I think it's very important that we like each other on a like friendship foundational level before we get to a romantic level. And that may allow like more security in this relationship if you guys are friends as well, because this person that may have issues with like abandonment or, you know, the fear of loss or the fear of intimacy, it's easier for some people, not everybody, but it can be easier when you have actually like, when you're actually in this place where you see each other as friends and you see each other as like equals and partners and not just as like a love interest, if that makes sense. Let's go ahead and move on. We have one additional card for you. So really my idea with this card was to see like, I guess what the outcome of the relationship would be, as well as like any additional notes about this individual and like what would be important in their relationship and things like that. So I asked for a couple of different things because I don't expect spirit to give me an answer on like the outcome of every single relationship, and everybody's going to be different with these piles too. So for you, we got affection. And I think that this is coming out because, again, like it will be important for you guys to show each other love and affection and appreciation. Again, with this individual, it may not be easy all of the time because with how I'm seeing their life has played out, they may have not received affection on the level that you did. They may have had a very difficult childhood, a very difficult upbringing, and they may have not been shown unconditional love and affection. And I think that it'll be very important for you guys to be affectionate. And it could also indicate that this person's love language has to do with like physical touch. And, you know, even just getting to know what this individual's love language is and really understanding that and doing your best to help express love in that way, as well as like obviously making it very clear to this individual what your love language is so that they know how best to express love to you as well. So yeah, I really think that that is all that I have for you. I don't really have a whole lot more to add, so I'm going to go ahead and leave the reading here. I really hope that you enjoyed this. And to be honest with you, I'm getting kind of a mixed feeling here looking at the piles. I don't know for sure if for some of you, this is like the person that you've been trying to manifest, or, you know, if this is for some of you, because I think for some of you, this may just be some like the type of people that you always attract to you are these people that have had troubled pasts and, you know, maybe have had issues with substance abuse and whatever. So I think it's kind of a mixture of both here. So you'll know what resonates best for you. But essentially this is the kind of partner that I see that could potentially be coming into your life, either through your own manifestations or just because these are the people that are kind of drawn to you. So anyway, I hope that you guys found this reading to be helpful. If this resonated with you, please leave me a comment down below. Give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I do put out new videos every week. And I lost my train of thought there, sorry. But anyways, thank you so much for joining me, you guys. I love you and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Hello there, pile number 3. If you chose the green aventurine crystal, then this is your reading for today. So lucky you, I actually filmed all of the readings on different days this week because I've had kind of a busy week and my husband and I are going to be going out of town. And anyways, I am finally filming on a day when it's like not cloudy and rainy and dreary. I live in Colorado and it's usually not cloudy at all, but like the past 2 days it's been very rainy and dark here, so you get like a natural light video, which is nice. I always love to be able to film with the natural light. But let's go ahead and get into your reading for today, guys. So again, we're trying to figure out, you know, the type of partner that you manifest into your life, that you're currently manifesting, the kind of partner that may just kind of be drawn to you based off of who you are. And, you know, this can also be like positive, who we're positively manifesting, as well as like who we continue to manifest because maybe we haven't broken certain like patterns or chains within ourselves as well. So this is really meant to be more of like a reflective reading and give you an idea of kind of like where you are as well in your life, but like the people that you kind of keep drawing back into you, or the people that you keep manifesting towards you, or that kind of keep coming back to you, essentially. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into your reading. I have 2 cards for you here from the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck, and I have these 2 cards here to give us a better idea of who this individual is. So let's go ahead and take a look. So we have the Warrior and the Desert. Very interesting. So I'm just going to tell you right off the bat that the energy that I get from these cards in general is one of struggle. I feel like the individual that you may be manifesting currently, or the type of partner that you're continuing to attract to yourself, is somebody that's really been through a lot in their lifetime, and somebody that has constantly kind of had to fight and level themselves in their position against the world is kind of what I'm getting here. And I also feel like this individual may have like this may be a very important lifetime for them. And I say that because I feel like there's a lot of growth that's supposed to happen. With the Desert coming up here, the first thing that's kind of coming to my mind actually is a couple of weeks ago, my younger sisters were here, and there are actually sand dunes in southern Colorado. And we had never been, so we decided to take them to the Sand Dune National Park. And the sand dunes are huge, right? Like, they're massive. You just pull up to them and you're like in awe of how big they are. But the thing is that like we were there on a day when it was super windy. Like, I'm sure it's probably windy there all of the time, but it was so windy that day that we were like fighting against the wind, trying to like get up to the dunes and start climbing the dunes. The dunes are huge, and I was not prepared, like mentally prepared for how like much work it was going to be. So it's not like we were like really trying to hike up the dunes. But the thing about, the desert, which like I'm getting this image, I think, in my mind for a reason, is that it's hard to fight against the desert with the sand and the heat and the dryness and the I felt like we were continually being battered by the sand. Like, you would get, so far, and then there was like smooth sand for you to walk on, and then it got to the point where it was like really rocky, and I didn't bring like the best shoes, so I decided to take my shoes off, and I was like walking barefoot through these like rocks, and it hurt after a while. And then, as you're getting to this place where you're like, okay, great, we're out of that, we're back on the smooth sand, then the wind started picking up and was like smacking you in the face, and you really had to kind of learn to surrender to nature. You had to learn to surrender to the wind and to the dunes. And I literally ended up just kind of sitting down for a little bit, and the wind was blowing like this direction at me. Couldn't tell you if it was north, south, east, or west. Like, I don't know my directions like that when I'm out in the world, but I was like here, and the wind was blowing at me in this direction. So like I ended up putting my face like towards the other direction and just let myself kind of get assaulted by the sand until it would like calm down a little bit. Then I'd get up and walk a little bit more, and then that would happen, and I'd sit down. And you really kind of had to surrender to the way that things were. And I'm really just getting this overwhelming feeling that this person has honestly like been fighting themselves a lot in their life, and fighting the destiny that they may have, or like fighting who they're supposed to be becoming, because they may be somebody that's resistant to change. And I feel like they kind of need to, let like the world take them a little bit more, and be somebody that goes with the flow a little bit more. Because I feel like they're fighting against themselves. Like, that's the overwhelming energy that I get here. Somebody that is very like resilient and tough, and like I get like fixed sign energy here. So I'm curious as to like what the rest of the cards will be, because I get the energy of somebody that is so stubborn. And to me, this kind of looks like the head of a bull, and that like gives me such Taurus vibes, such Taurus energy. Somebody that is so stubborn and set in their ways and stuck on things being the way that they want them to be, that they're willing to like put in, like, make life more difficult than it needs to be, if that makes sense. But I mean, again, like redeeming qualities for this person, they are very resilient and they're able to kind of overcome the difficulties in their life. And the thing about the warrior though is that when this like archetype gets off balance and isn't, living in their purpose is how I like to think about it. They can be very violent and like quick to anger, because I think that what it really boils down to is that this individual has a lot of issues that they still need to work through with themselves. And I feel like there's just a lot of like inner deception going on, and they're not really somebody that at this point is wanting to grow. And so they push things down, they ignore things that need to be taken care of because they're so stubborn and set in their ways. And they do have a warrior mentality of, well, this is the way that things are supposed to be, so this is the way that I'm going to do them, even if, I have to literally fight against the sand, if I have to fight against the desert, which, like, who can fight against the desert and win? I don't know. Like, if you can, good for you. But, that's why people die out in the desert, because they're literally overcome by the heat and the lack of water and the exhaustion. And, that's why mirages and things are a thing in the desert, because people become dehydrated and disillusioned with like what really needs to happen around them. And that is like the overwhelming sense that I'm getting about this individual. Let's go ahead and look at the tarot cards that I got for you today, to see if we can get any more information on who this person is. So we have the Ace of Pentacles, and this one actually came out reversed. I don't typically shuffle reversals into like some of my tarot card decks, and this is one of them that I don't. And so it's interesting that it like came out as a reversal. We have the Seven of Swords. We have the Ten of Cups. We have the Three of Cups. And we have the Hierophant. Okay. And I just like want to preface this and say that like when I'm shuffling your cards for you, like when I'm asking Spirit for the cards that you need for this reading, I do see the cards that come out occasionally. This is the only one that actually came out as a reversal. So I know when I was like pulling up the Ten of Cups, it looked like it was a reversal, but this one was the only one that came out as a reversal. And truthfully, I don't really look at the cards or think a lot about them until we get into this portion of the reading. So I just wanted to preface and say that, because it may have looked there like the Ten of Cups was meant to be in reversal as well, and it wasn't. It didn't come out that way. So anyway, let's take a look here at your cards. So again, you have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, the Seven of Swords, the Ten of Cups, the Three of Cups, and the Hierophant. So I'm going to be honest with you. I really do get the overwhelming sense that this person, this lifetime for them, is a very critical one. And I'm curious as to what the rest of this reading will say, because to me, like, this person's life is, this lifetime is like a very important, supposed to be a very important turning point for them. So I'm curious as to like if we get any more information astrologically. But anyways, what I'm feeling here is that this individual, and it's so funny that the Hierophant came out actually, because the Hierophant represents Taurus. And again, I said I was getting like stubborn, fixed bull energy. And so that may be like a confirmation here from Spirit why this card came out here. But it's interesting because I feel like this individual with the Seven of Swords coming out this way and the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, again, I feel like this person is working against themselves when it comes to anything physical, material that they could accumulate in this world. And, with the Ace of Pentacles being in reverse here, this could reference, money and like their means that they have to survive financially. But for me, for this reading, I really feel like it's coming across more as like them. And I feel like they're working. I feel like they're constantly working against themselves. And they're causing damage to themselves physically by doing this, because they're constantly like in mental battle with themselves. They're constantly putting themselves down. They're constantly telling themselves that, you know, they may not be capable of something. And I feel like that is why this warrior energy came out, because they're so stuck in this warped ideology of themselves, but also of the world even. I think that with the Seven of Swords here, I'm not seeing it as being like, what I'm really seeing it as here is they are so disillusioned by themselves, and they are literally trying to like fool and deceive themselves. And it's like they know, I think that they know internally like what they should be doing and the things that they should be pursuing and the things that like would make them happy in life. But I feel like they're constantly going against that. And it could be related to the fact that maybe like for some of them, they don't do the things that they want to in life because they're afraid that, you know, society will look at them a certain way, or maybe they won't make the kind of money or income that they're wanting. And I do feel like the Ace of Pentacles is in reverse here as well, because they're clutching on so tightly to the things that aren't working for them that they are literally in a like state of lack and like a lack mindset, and they're pushing away all of the things that like all the good things that could be happening for them. Does that make sense? And again, I feel like this ties into the desert because we're working against ourselves. Like, I feel like what this is saying, what Spirit is trying to say here, is that this individual has the potential to have a beautiful life filled with people that, you know, love them and understand them and celebrate their accomplishments and successes, filled with like community and family and love. And honestly, I feel like they could have been somebody that was like raised very traditionally, and the Hierophant coming up here as well is asking them, what do you believe and why, essentially? And this can be, what do you believe and why about yourself? What do you believe and why about society? What do you believe and why about making money? And again, I just feel like this individual has so much growth potential in this lifetime, because the Ten of Cups is a beautiful card. I mean, it really does signify this culmination of, you know, emotional strength and stability, as well as you know, a happy, healthy family, and, you know, just having all of the happy emotional things that we need in our lives to fulfill us, right? Because we do need other people, and for some of us, it's important for us to have and start a family, and, you know, to have this sense of security that you get with the Ten of Cups, because this is a very joyous, secure, happy card. And, you know, it is one of the more favorable cards in the tarot. And again, I feel like what Spirit is saying is this is their potential in this lifetime. These are the things that they could have, but they are continuing to focus on things that do not serve them, things that will not bring them this joy and happiness unless they can get past this bullshit and really ask themselves, am I doing this because society told me to, because these are the, you know, ideas and these are like the social standards? Or am I doing this because I really truly want to? Because the Hierophant is all about tradition. It's all about rules and restrictions. And it's about the limitations that we may put on ourselves as well. That is the way that I will see the Hierophant sometimes. And that's the way that I'm seeing it here. And I really feel for this individual, because you may know exactly who I'm talking about, or you may be somebody that, you know, has dealt with people like this reoccurringly, because they're people that are continually being drawn to you. And I would ask you as well to examine yourself and why this is happening and the things that you can change, because perhaps you think that this is the best that you deserve. But if this person has gotten past this bullshit here and they're at this point where they are making changes and trying to embrace the outlying things within society and tradition, then I feel like you would be in a good place with this person and you could have a very happy life with this person. But I'm going to be honest, I'm not getting that overwhelming sense from reading these cards that this individual is at this place. And I just want to say, and this is just coming from me, that if that is the case, if you're dealing with somebody that may be emotionally immature, that may not be at a place yet to have a solid relationship and commitment with you, do not hold on to that. If that is not something that resonates with you, I'm really getting the message that don't sit there and think that you can fix them and you can get them here, because we as people have to want to change for ourselves. And it's interesting too with the like Taurus energy that I'm getting here. Taurus is the bull. Taurus is fixed earth, and Taurus doesn't do anything that Taurus doesn't want to do. Okay, and that may just be like the overwhelming energy of this person. They may not be a Taurus at all, but this person is somebody that is not going to do anything they don't want to. Okay, so we can't force people to change. We can't force people to evaluate themselves and recognize the patterns that they need to break. We can't be the ones to do that for people. They have to want to do that for themselves, okay? Let's take a look here at the astrology-based cards that we got for this reading and see if that gives us any more insight into this individual. Grand Cross Provoker. Interesting. We got Earth Element Stability. Okay. And ninth house, faith. You know what's funny? I feel like the ninth house has come up in every single reading. In every single reading. So I think it's funny that it's continuing to come up. Okay, I don't know how much you guys know about astrology. I don't know everything, I'm not gonna lie, but I do know that a grand cross in a birth chart can be a point of contention. It's very much so like a yod, in that it can be a difficult pattern to have in a chart. And I feel like once it's overcome, we're blessed with certain gifts and advancements on the spiritual side. And that may be why the ninth house is coming out here. But it's interesting because the Grand Cross can actually point to a relationship. So this relationship that you're continuing to have with this person, or with people that are similar in this nature, this Grand Cross could be coming up because this is a very fated relationship. Like, I get, star-crossed lover vibes, if that makes sense. A very difficult and tumultuous situation. And I'm not saying that it always has to be. I'm not saying that this relationship will always end in turmoil. What I'm saying is that it's not going to be easy, okay? Because there are a lot of issues within the relationship, within each other, that need to be overcome and need to be worked on for something like this to actually work out, okay? I feel like what this is saying by coming out is that to really, like, I'm sorry if you're hearing all of the noise in the background. It is like 6 or 7 o'clock here, and so there are like kids outside playing too because it is summer. So I'm sorry if you're hearing all of that. But anyway, with the Grand Cross coming out, I feel like what this is saying is that take your time in this kind of relationship. Don't just write it off automatically, because there could be a lot of growth and a lot of potential with this kind of relationship, and you really need to like take some time within that relationship, within that partnership, to figure out if that's something that could work for you. Don't like judge it too quickly, but also on the flip side, don't stay past the point of it being like done. So try and figure out what works, what doesn't, and if those are deal breakers for you or not. That's why I feel like this is coming out for this reading in particular. With Earth Element Stability, I really do feel like this person has Taurus energy, has like strong Earth sign energy. And again, with Earth, it is stable. It is, with like Taurus, it's fixed Earth. And the thing is that fixed signs can be very stubborn, and Taurus is one of those signs that can be very stubborn and set in their ways, and it can be hard to make anything happen with this. So again, what I want to stress to you is don't feel like you're the one that could change this person and get them to their 10 of Cups, their 3 of Cups. Don't feel like you're the one that is responsible for that, because you're not. At the end of the day, we're all responsible for ourselves. We're all responsible for our own personal growth and development throughout our lifetimes. And you have no control over whether somebody wants to make changes and make something work and, you know, make changes for the better for themselves. Like, you have no control over that. So don't think that you do, because you absolutely do not. And you know, the like Taurus, like I said, is the bull, and I'm getting like this overwhelming vision of, you know, like, have you ever tried to make a bull do anything? Like, if a bull doesn't want to move, it's not going to move. The bull has to want to move on its own. It's like a boulder, like on the top of a mountain, and you're trying to push it down, and you know, once you get the momentum going, like, it's going. But before that, it's like, God, is this thing ever gonna move? And so I just want you to realize that this person has a lot to overcome on their own. And I feel like the 9th house is coming out here because maybe this person would benefit from traveling, from stepping outside of their reality to see that, you know, not everything is perhaps the way that they see it. Because another thing about Taurus and like strong earth sign placements is that they get in their mind that they know best, that they know like what the truth about everything is. And I'm not saying this is, by the way, I want to preface this and say this is not all Tauruses. I know Tauruses that are very open-minded, but somebody that has a lot of this like fixed element, fixed earth like energy is going to be somebody that thinks that they know everything, that they know about certain situations, about certain people, about the way that life is. And I think that this may be coming out because this person could really benefit from stepping outside of their reality and like traveling and seeing the world for like seeing all the different facets of the world, all the different cultures, all the different things, and like understanding that just because something is one way for them, that's not how it is for the rest of the world, right? And that's the thing that Sagittarius and the 9th house gives us, is this perspective that there is something greater out there than just us and just our reality, because, you know, we're not the only one here living on this planet. Like, there are other people that live on this planet that have totally different lifestyles and different cultures and different perspectives on everything. So I think that may be why this is coming out. Also, again, with something like the Grand Cross coming out, this could point to, you know, a very important test that this person's soul has set for themselves in this lifetime. And once they actually like work through their shit, and once they have, you know, succeeded in overcoming like the obstacles and hurdles that are put in their way because of this Grand Cross, that they will get a lot of like spiritual growth and gifts from this lifetime. That's why I think that this lifetime for them is a very important one, a very pivotal one. Let's go ahead and look here at the rest of the cards. So I have 3 more actually for you. So we'll look at the first 2 because they're from the same deck. So we have Thinker, okay, and we have Time to Go. Okay, interesting. All right, so couple different things here. I feel like Thinker is coming out because essentially what Spirit is saying to you is that you really do need to take the time to think about this connection, this individual, a relationship with this person, and weigh the pros and cons of it and see if this is something that could actually work for you. And then if it's not, end things and be done with it. And if it is, then, you know, try and make things work, and really try and work on yourself still within that relationship. I think that what I'm hearing right now from Spirit is that you really need to understand that even if you're in a relationship with somebody, you can't let somebody else consume you in a relationship, and vice versa. You still have to be your own individual person and still work on yourself, and so does that individual. And again, like, you are not responsible for their growth and the things that they decide to do or change in themselves. That is up to them. And then with time to go, I feel like this is coming out because for some of you, you're going to realize by like taking time to really think about this relationship with this partner that it's not going to work for you and you're going to have to cut ties. And I don't feel like that's the case for all of you, but this may be a specific message for some of you, even for like one or two of you, that it's time to break this pattern with this type of person. And this could even point to like the end of a soul contract for you. So the Grand Cross could potentially even be in your chart, and you continually are attracting these kind of people into your lives, people that have a lot of shit they still need to work through on their own. And, you know, this could be you breaking a soul contract with somebody, with even, you know, like multiple people, and you coming to this realization that you need more, or you deserve more, or that you need a different kind of partner in your life. And there's nothing wrong with that. But for some of you, I do get the feeling that after kind of seeing all this and hearing all this and, you know, really evaluating this person and what they bring to your life, like the things that they actually do that are positive for your life, you're going to be like, no, I'm done. I can't do this shit anymore. So I feel like that's why that's coming up here, to be honest. And then finally, I kind of wanted to get information on like what the outcome of this relationship, this partnership could be. So that is what I asked Spirit for. And we got ritual here, which I think is really kind of interesting. So it's actually interesting because ritual can point to like a deepening connection with another person. And is this the same sign? Oh my God, look, it's like the same sign here, this triangle with the line through it, as it is here with the earth element. That's interesting. I guess the line's a little bit higher up. I have to look into a little bit more probably what that means. But anyway, I think that what this is saying is that a relationship that is grounded in like honesty, this commitment to like work on each other work on each other. Well, excuse me, let me take that back. Sorry. Work on yourselves while working on the relationship. This, you know, like desire to want to make things work, but also understanding that not everything's gonna work out, and that's okay. But like understanding that by you working on yourself individually, you're also bringing that back into your relationship. And by you healing certain parts of yourself, you're going to heal certain issues within your relationship. Yeah, I think that that's really kind of what this is saying. And that could really like deepen your guys' bond with each other because you are going through healing simultaneously. And then you're able to bring back that like healed version of you to this relationship. And so I feel like that may be why ritual is coming out for you. But also, you know, like understanding that it's important to give each other time, attention, affection, and to do those things, you know, like even something as simple as like sitting down and like talking about, you know, your feelings, issues that you had with each other, like at the end of the week, so you guys can start to work through those things. You know, it's having that time and space where you do like address issues in your relationship and you talk them out. And, you know, it's all about, I just want to say it's all about like tone and how things are presented. And, you know, I'm not saying this so that like you have a screaming match with your partner, but like you need to be able to talk about these things, because if you can't do that, you're not going to have a successful relationship with somebody. You have to be able to talk to each other like mature adults and not take every single thing that your partner says to you personally. And I'm not saying like if they're constantly talking to you like you do this, you do this, you do this, you do this, like it can be hard not to see that as a personal attack. So don't get me wrong, like I can understand how that would be an issue for some people. But what I mean is, like, when your partner is expressing their feelings about something and they're like really just saying, like, you know, I wish that you'd understand that when certain things like this happen, it really hurts my feelings. And, you know, I'd really appreciate it if you could do this differently, or if you could try to do this differently. Like, and understand that when you do these things, it really does affect me and it hurts my feelings. And, you know, just like things like that, being open and honest with one another and understanding where you are, and understanding that even if, you know, you get to this really great place with each other, things may still not work out, and that's okay. But like really trying and really like grounding your relationship and bringing it back into reality, I guess, too, because again, the thinker is somebody that's very logical. And while it's like great to be in this like beautiful, perfect fairy tale, like honeymoon stage of a relationship, that's not what a relationship is all of the time, okay? I'm not saying you can't have that for 30, 40 years. I'm just saying that relationships go through their ups and downs, their lulls, their ebbs, and it's like, it's okay. You have to be able to accept that though. So I'm going to go ahead and leave your reading here, guys. I feel like I'm kind of rambling and getting preachy, so I'm going to stop while I'm ahead. But I hope that this resonated with you. And if it did, please leave me a comment down below, give this video a thumbs up, and make sure that you subscribe to my channel. I do put out new videos every week. I've been trying to put out a new pick a card reading every week for you guys. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I love you. I wish you all the best. And I will see you next time, okay? Thank you. Bye.